Everyone, you're tuned into Story Time. My name is Ryan Louie, and my pronouns are they and them, and I'm from the Asian Pacific Islander Coalition and Reimagine Spokane. And we're celebrating the month of May, which is Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And today I'm going to read a story by Yangsook Choi, who's a Korean author that's writing about the experience and challenges she's had assimilating to American culture as a child. It's called The Name Jar. For Soon-On Lee, my mother, and thanks to Tracy and Michelle. Through the school bus window, Eun-hye looked out at the strange buildings and houses on the way to her new school. It was her first day, and she was both nervous and excited. She fingered the little block of wood in her pocket and remembered leaving her grandmother at the airport in Korea. Her grandmother had wiped away Eun-hye's tears and handed her an ink pad and a small red satin pouch. "Your name is inside," she had said. My name, Eun-hye had wondered. Again, she took out the red pouch to look at the wooden block with her name carved in it. As she ran her fingers along the grooves and ridges of the Korean characters, she pictured her grandmother's smile. "Is that thing for show and tell?" a boy asked Eun-hye, surprising her. Eun-hye looked up as more kids leaned over. "No, it's mine," Eun-hye answered, quickly putting the pouch back in her pocket. "Are you new here? What's your name?" a girl asked. "Eun-hye," said Eun-hye. "Eun-hye?" the girl asked, scrunching up her face. Eun-hye," some kids chanted. No, Eun-hye corrected. It's spelled U-N-H-E-I. It's pronounced Eun-hye. "Oh, it's you-hey," the boy said, like, "You-hey. What about hey you?" Just then, the bus pulled up to the school and the doors opened. Eun-hye hurried to get off. "You-hey, bye-bye," the kids yelled as she left. Eun-hye felt herself blush. Eun-hye stood in the doorway of her new and noisy classroom. She was relieved that the kids on the bus had gone to other rooms, but her face still felt red. "Aren't you going in?" asked a curly-haired boy with lots of dots on his face. "You're the new girl, right?" he said cheerfully. Eun-hye nodded, and before she could walk away, the boy took her hand and pulled her through the door. "Here's a new girl," he announced so loudly that the teacher, Mr. Kokotos, almost dropped his glasses. Mr. Kokotos thanked him and greeted Eun-hye. "Please welcome our newest student," he said to the class. "She and her family just arrived from Korea last week." Eun-hye smiled broadly and tried not to show her nervousness. "What's your name?" someone shouted. Eun-hye pictured the kids on the bus. I haven't picked one yet," she told the class, "but I'll let you know next week." As Mr. Kokoto showed her to her desk, she felt many round and curious eyes on her. "Why doesn't she have a name?" she heard someone whisper. "Maybe she robbed a bank in Korea and needs a new identity," a boy replied. On the bus home, nobody teased her, but Eun-hye kept thinking about her name. "How was school, Eun-hye?" her mother asked when she walked in. "Did you understand the teacher?" Eun-hye simply nodded. She unpacked her school bag and set the red pouch by a photograph of her grandma. "I'm glad you're learning English well," her mother said. "You must study hard, behave nicely, and get good grades to show that you're a good Korean." "I will," replied Eun-hye. But I think I'd like my own American name," she said quickly. Her mother looked at her with surprise. "Why? Eun-hye is a beautiful name. Your grandma and I went to a name master for it." "But it's so hard to pronounce," Eun-hye complained. "I don't want to be different from all the American kids." "You are different, Eun-hye," her mother said, "and that's a good thing." Eun-hye just wrinkled her nose. Oops, we skipped a page. Got it. Later that day, Eun-hye and her mother went grocery shopping at their new neighborhood. They passed Fadil's Falafel, Tony's Pizza, and Dot's Deli. A big graffiti-painted garbage truck roared like a lion as it took off down the street. Nothing sounded or looked familiar until they got to Kim's Market. The sign was in both English and Korean. Her mother picked up cabbage to make kimchi, Korean-style spicy pickled cabbage, and other vegetables and meat. She also found some seaweed, which was Eun-hye's favorite, for soup, It made Eunhye smile. Just because we've moved to America, her mother said, doesn't mean we have to stop eating Korean food. At the checkout counter, a friendly man smiled at Eunhye. Helping your mother with the shopping, he asked. Eunhye nodded. I'm Mr. Kim, he said. And what's your name? Eunhye, she answered. Ah, what a beautiful name, he said. Doesn't it mean grace? Eunhye nodded again. My mother and grandmother went to a name master for it, she told him. A graceful name for a graceful girl, Mr. Kim said as he put their groceries into a bag. Welcome to the neighborhood, Eunhye. That evening, Eunhye stood in front of the bathroom mirror. Hi, my name is Amanda, she said cheerfully, and she wrinkled her nose. Hi, my name is Laura. Maybe not. Her smile turned down. Nothing sounded right. Nothing felt right. I don't think American kids will like me, she worried as she began to brush her teeth. Hi, my name is Chuzi, she said to the mirror with her mouth full of toothpaste. The next morning, when Eunhye arrived at school, she found a glass jar on her desk with some pieces of paper in it. Eunhye took one out and read it aloud. Daisy. That's my baby sister's nickname, but she said that you can use it if you want, said Cindy, who sat next to her. Eunhye took out the rest of the paper. Tamala, she read. I got it from a storybook, said Nate. She was smart and brave. Eunhye nodded and unfolded another piece. Wednesday? Yeah, you came here on Wednesday, said Ralph. Thank you for your help. A smile spread over Eunhye's face. Ralph quickly said, We'll put more names in it. You can pick whatever you like, or you can pick them all, and you'll have the longest name in history. At 3 o'clock, the bell rang for the end of the school day. Eunhye looked out the window and saw it was sprinkling. It's the same rain, she thought, but in a different place. She watched other kids leaving in groups. Hey, a familiar voice called out to her. Eunhye turned around to see the curly-haired boy again. I'm Joey, he said. And you? Don't you have any name? Eunhye thought for a moment. Well, I can show you, she said, and she took out the small red pouch. She pressed the wooden block on the ink pad and then stamped it onto a piece of paper. This is my name stamp, she said. My grandma gave it to me. In Korea, I can use it as a signature when I open a bank account or write a letter. And whenever I miss my grandma, I use it to fill a piece of paper. Want to try it? She offered the stamp to Joey, and he carefully inked the stamp and pressed it hard on the paper. The red characters gleamed against the whiteness. Wow, that's beautiful, Joey said. Can I keep the paper? Sure, Eunhye said, and then the two of them shared her umbrella as they walked to the school bus. Every day, the jar got fuller with more names, and Eunhye read them all. She found a few names she liked. Miranda, Stella, Avery. They sounded interesting. I hope you choose the name that I put in, Marco told her at snack time. I've put in 3 more, said Ralph. Madison, Park, and Lex. They're my favorite street names. Maybe you should close your eyes and draw a name, Rosie suggested. Ralph frowned. That's silly. What if she doesn't like the name she draws? Well, we didn't get to choose our names when we were born, did we? Rosie argued. And everyone thought about this. When Eunhye got home from school that day, her little brother ran to give her a letter. It was from her grandma. She opened it quickly. It said, To my Eunhye, I hope you're enjoying your new school and new friends. Be sure to help your mother and your little brother. Here, the moon is up, but there, the sun is up. No matter how far apart we are and no matter how different America is from Korea, you'll always be my Eunhye. Your grandma forever. Eunhye took out her wooden stamp and filled a paper with it. She thought for a long time in front of the bathroom mirror. On Saturday, Eunhye walked to Mr. Kim's store. Mr. Kim was helping a customer, but he looked up and greeted her. Hi, Eunhye. Hello, Mr. Kim, Eunhye replied. She felt as if she was back in her old neighborhood in Korea. Hey, said the customer, turning around. It was Joey. Your name is Eunhye? he asked her with his eyes wide open. Eunhae looked quickly at Mr. Kim and then turned to Joey. She nodded slowly. Yes, it's pronounced Eunhae. And it means grace, Mr. Kim added. Eunhae, Joey said slowly, and this time perfectly. It made Eunhae smile. I'll have it ready for you tomorrow, Mr. Kim said to Joey. Thank you, Mr. Kim. See you on Monday, Eunhae, Joey said to her. He left before she could ask him why he was at the store. On Monday, Eunhae came to class early to look at the names one last time, but the jar wasn't on her desk. Instead, there was just a single piece of paper with a name on it. Eunhae slipped it in her pocket. Where's your name jar? Ralph asked as soon as he saw it was gone. I don't know, Eunhae said. It wasn't on Mr. Kokotos's desk or on any other desk, and it wasn't on the counters or on any of the shelves. As the other kids arrived, they helped look. Soon, Mr. Kokotos came in and Ralph shouted at him, The name jar is gone! The jar with all the names on it! Gone, Mr. Kokotos said. With a look of concern, he asked Eunhae, Did you get a chance to read all the names? Eunhae nodded. She took a breath. I'm ready to introduce myself, she said. Eunhae wrote her name in both English and Korean on the chalkboard. I like the beautiful names and the funny ones you thought of for me, she told the class, but I realized that I like my name best, so I chose it again. Korean names mean something, Eunhae. Eunhae means grace. Grace! Grace Eunhae! Shouted Ralph. Everyone tried to say it. Eunhae, Eunhae, Eunhae. Eunhae said her name again slowly and clearly. Soon the kids began to say it better, even Mr. Kokotos. They applauded Eunhae's choice. I was named after a flower, Rosie whispered to Eunhae. Lots of American names have meanings too, Mr. Kokotos reminded everyone. When the class was dismissed, Eunhae heard her new friends say goodbye. Bye, Eunhae. See you tomorrow. Goodbye, Eunhae. Eunhae said goodbye and then looked around for Joey, but he was already gone. Eunhae, come downstairs, Mother called up to Eunhae. Your friend is here. Eunhae rushed down to see who she meant. There stood Joey, and in his arms was the name jar. Where did you find it? Asked Eunhae breathlessly. Joey looked embarrassed. Well, I took it, but only because I wanted you to keep your own name, and you did. He reached in and pulled out the names. Do you want to keep them? He asked. Thank you. I'll keep them as a souvenir, Eunhae said happily. Then she pulled out the piece of paper from her pocket. Do you want this back? Joey grinned. You can keep it. I'll return the name jar to the class. Maybe you could put some Korean nicknames in it for us. Names with good meanings. I could do that, agreed Eunhae. I've already got a Korean nickname, Joey said. Mr. Kim helped me choose it. Carefully, he pulled a small silver felt pouch from his pocket. Then he took out a dark wooden stamp with beautiful Korean characters carved sharply into it. He pressed it on the ink pad and then on the piece of paper next to her name. Chinku, read Eunhae. That means friend. And Chinku smiled back. And that was The Name Jar by Yangsook Choi. Thanks for tuning into Storytime, everyone. If you would like to learn more about Asian American and Pacific Islander heritage, you can log in online to the Spokane Library's website, where they have a lot more resources. That's at SpokaneLibrary.org. And if you'd like to reach out to us at APIC, you can find us on Facebook at APIC Spokane or on our website, apicspokane.org. Thanks again for tuning in. See you next time.